Deep in the craggy heights of the Anatolian mountains, a mighty empire once reigned, only to vanish into the shadows of time, forgotten for over 3,000 years. The Hittites, a superpower rivaling the grandeur of Ramses' Egypt and Hammurabi's Babylon, clashed with pharaohs in the greatest chariot battle history ever recorded, the thundering clash at Kadesh. Yet, their name dissolved into oblivion. Their towering citadels crumbled, and their story faded like whispers on the wind. How does a civilization so vast, so formidable, slip through the cracks of memory, leaving barely a trace? This is the enigma of the Hittites, a lost saga of the Bronze Age, where lion-guarded fortresses, sprawling pantheons, and armies that shook the earth once defined a world. Their cities rivaled the splendor of Thebes, their laws shaped justice, and their diplomats wove alliances across the ancient Near East. Yet, until the 19th century, their existence was a ghost, unknown to scholars and kings alike. Unearthing their tale is not just a journey into the past, it's a warning. Even the mightiest empires can fade, their legacies buried, unless someone keeps their story alive. Long before the rise of Greece or Rome, the Hittites carved a colossal empire from the rugged heart of Anatolia, their cities gleaming like beacons in the Bronze Age dawn. They crafted laws, sent envoys across distant lands, and shaped the geopolitics of the ancient Near East with a sophistication that rivaled the greatest powers. Yet for millennia, their name was dust, their monuments swallowed by earth, their language silenced. By the 19th century, the world had all but erased them, their citadels reduced to ruins, their story lost to time's relentless march. Why should we heed a kingdom so thoroughly undone? Because the Hittites' oblivion holds a mirror to our own fragility. Their towering achievements, sprawling cities, intricate diplomacy, and archives etched in clay crumbled when no voice remained to sing their saga. Exploring their world is a reckoning with our own, a reminder that even the grandest societies can fade if their records falter. The Hittites were innovators, their ambition matched only by their ingenuity, yet forces beyond their control would unravel their glory. From their ashes, we learn how swiftly greatness can slip into the shadows, forgotten. In the untamed wilds of Anatolia, where jagged peaks defy the heavens, a legend was born around 1600 BCE. Hattusilay Vishert, a visionary chieftain, wove scattered Hittite tribes into a single, unyielding force, forging an empire from stone and ambition. At its heart rose Hattusa, a capital crowned with lion-guarded gates that roared defiance to the world. No mere fortress, it was a testament to a new power, its walls a promise of permanence in a turbulent age. The Hittites turned their rugged isolation into a shield, their mountains a bulwark against invaders. From Hattusa's heights, Hattusilay's successors stretched their dominion, bending neighboring city-states to their will with tribute and alliances. Their conquests were not reckless. They secured vital trade routes, channeling rivers of metal and grain to fuel their rise. Each victory built upon the last, laying the foundation for a kingdom that would echo through the Bronze Age. Hattusilay's dream endured beyond his reign, his unified tribes evolving into a force that rivaled the era's titans. With every stone set in Hattusa's walls, the Hittites declared their arrival, not just as warriors, but as architects of a civilization destined to reshape the ancient world. In the heart of Hattusa, where scribes etched destiny onto clay, the Hittites wove a tapestry of governance that set them apart in the Bronze Age. Their empire was no mere conquest of swords. It was a triumph of intellect, forged through meticulous record-keeping and laws that tamed chaos. Around 1600 BCE, they established scribal schools, training minds to wield cuneiform, borrowed from Mesopotamia, but reshaped with Hittite ingenuity, and their own hieroglyphs, bold symbols of a rising power. These scripts captured harvests, tracked armies, and mapped trade routes, turning raw data into the lifeblood of strategy. In an era ruled by tradition, the Hittites dared to innovate, anchoring their empire in written precedent rather than fleeting memory. Their legal code, carved on enduring clay, was a marvel, practical yet humane, tempering punishment with context, unlike the rigid decrees of Babylon or Assyria. Disputes over livestock or capital crimes found resolution in tablets that guided local rulers, curbing corruption with clarity. This was no royal boast etched in stone. It was a system that breathed, governing far-flung territories with precision. The Hittites' obsession with records was both their strength and their salvation. When their cities fell, these clay archives endured, whispering truths to future scholars. Their bureaucracy was revolutionary, a scaffold for empire building that rivaled Egypt's grandeur. Yet, in their meticulous scribes lay an irony. They believed their written legacy would defy time, unaware that oblivion loomed. Still, those tablets, buried beneath ruins, would one day resurrect their forgotten world, proving that even in silence, the Hittites' voice could echo through millennia, a testament to their unyielding ambition. In the shadow of Hattusa's towering gates, the Hittites mastered a weapon sharper than bronze: diplomacy. Their empire, sprawling across Anatolia's rugged heart, thrived not on garrisons alone, but on the delicate art of alliance. With clay tablets as their canvas, they penned treaties that bound vassal states in a web of mutual gain. These pacts, baked to endure, detailed borders, tribute, and loyalty, granting local rulers autonomy in exchange for fealty. This was no mere conquest. It was a dance of power, balancing strength with cunning. The Hittites' scribes, versed in the scripts of neighbors, wove foreign ideas into their bureaucracy, enriching their own systems. These agreements stifled rebellion, as vassals honored terms rather than face Hattusa's wrath. The effect rippled beyond politics, sparking cultural exchange that infused Hittite courts with new wisdom. Their diplomacy was a beacon in the Bronze Age, proving that words could hold empires together where swords alone might fail. Yet, this delicate balance rested on vigilance. A single broken pact could unravel their dominion. Through these tablets, the Hittites crafted a legacy of statecraft, their words enduring as proof of a civilization that ruled not just by might, but by the enduring power of accord. In the rugged embrace of Anatolia's mountains, the Hittites forged a military machine that thundered across the Bronze Age. Their chariots, swift and deadly, mastered treacherous passes where enemies faltered, turning rocky terrain into a weapon. From Hattusa's fortified heart, kings orchestrated campaigns with precision, delegating command to generals steeped in the land's challenges. These warriors, trained to navigate craggy defiles, made the Hittites a terror on the battlefield, their wheels churning dust into the annals of history. Yet their strength was not brute force alone. It was a symphony of strategy, blending mobility with disciplined command. Each victory secured trade routes, funneling bronze and power to their capital. But within Hattusa's walls, a different battle simmered. The throne, a beacon of divine authority, was no stranger to intrigue. Kings, styled as "my son," adopted kin to secure succession, yet rivalries festered. Queens, or tawanana, wielded influence that could sway empires or spark discord, especially when rulers faltered on distant campaigns. These internal struggles, like cracks in stone, threatened to fracture the unity Hattusile had forged. A weak king or contested heir could unravel the delicate balance of power, inviting chaos to Hattusa's courts. The Hittites' military might, a marvel of its time, stood as both shield and sword, protecting their dominion while enforcing their will. Yet, their political intricacies, woven with ambition and loyalty, were a double-edged blade. In this dance of war and intrigue, the Hittites built an empire that awed the ancient world, yet sowed the seeds of its own vulnerability, a testament to the fragile line between triumph and turmoil. In the sacred precincts of Hattusa, where temple fires flickered under starlit skies, the Hittites wove a divine tapestry unlike any in the Bronze Age. Their pantheon, a vast mosaic of gods, swelled with each conquest, embracing deities from vanquished lands rather than casting them aside. This was no mere tolerance. It was a masterstroke of unity, a celestial diplomacy that bound diverse peoples to their empire. By welcoming foreign gods, storm lords, solar spirits, and countless regional divinities, the Hittites grew their sacred roster to hundreds, perhaps thousands, each enshrined in rituals that echoed across Anatolia. This syncretism was a bridge across cultures, soothing the sting of subjugation. When a city fell, its gods found a home in Hattusa's temples, their worship preserved, their followers appeased. This sacred inclusion dulled the urge for rebellion, as local traditions flourished under Hittite rule. Priests wove foreign rites into state festivals, blending hymns and offerings into a vibrant spiritual tapestry that strengthened loyalty. The Hittites learned from these adopted faiths, enriching their own ceremonies with new myths and practices, creating a divine harmony that resonated from mountain villages to coastal towns. Yet, this was no naive generosity. It was strategy cloaked in reverence. By honoring the gods of their subjects, the Hittites forged a cultural glue that held their far-flung empire together. Their temples stood as symbols of unity, their altars a testament to a civilization that ruled not by erasing identities, but by weaving them into a grand, divine narrative. In this sacred dance, the Hittites crafted a legacy of inclusion, a beacon of stability in a fractious world, their gods a chorus singing of empire's enduring embrace. In the 13th century BCE, the Hittite Empire, a juggernaut of Anatolian might, collided with the ambition of Egypt's greatest pharaoh, Ramses II. Their rivalry ignited over the rich trade routes of Canaan and Syria, lifelines both powers craved. The tension erupted in 1274 BCE near Kadesh, where the Orontes River bore witness to history's grandest chariot battle. Hittite King Muwatalli II, a shadow cloaked in cunning, marshaled thousands of chariots and infantry, plotting to ambush Ramses' divided forces. The clash was cataclysmic, a whirlwind of bronze and dust, with both sides claiming triumph. Ramses carved boastful reliefs, proclaiming he shattered the Hittites single-handedly, yet Hittite records paint a stalemate, their forces humbling Egypt's pride with heavy losses. Modern scholars call it a draw, but the battle's echo resounded beyond the field. From its ashes rose a monument of peace, the earliest recorded international treaty. Inked on clay, it bound two titans in mutual respect, delineating borders, pledging aid, and promising to return fugitives. This pact was no mere truce. It was a testament to Hittite statecraft, elevating them as equals to Egypt's golden throne. No longer mere mountain lords, they stood as peers to pharaohs, their influence stretching from Anatolia to Syria. The treaty's words, preserved in Hattusa's archives, sang of a balance struck between war and wisdom, a fleeting harmony that crowned the Hittites as architects of a new diplomatic dawn. Their clash with Egypt and the peace that followed etched their name among the Bronze Age's giants, a legacy of power tempered by the delicate art of accord. As the 12th century BCE dawned, a shadow fell over the Bronze Age, a cataclysm that would sweep away empires like leaves in a storm. The Hittites, once lords of Anatolia's rugged heights, faced a tempest no chariot could outrun. The Bronze Age collapse, a maelstrom of drought, famine, and chaos, tore at the roots of their dominion. Climate shifts withered crops, turning fertile fields to dust. Grain shortages sparked unrest, as vassal states, once bound by tribute, defied Hattusa's call, pleading hardship. From the seas came marauders, enigmatic sea peoples, whose raids battered coastal strongholds, severing trade routes that fed the empire's heart. Tin, the lifeblood of bronze, vanished from markets, crippling armies and artisans alike. The Hittites, masters of strategy, found themselves besieged on all fronts, rebellious vassals, relentless invaders, and a creeping despair that sapped their spirit. Within Hattusa's walls, the cracks widened. Royal courts, once a bastion of order, fractured under rival factions vying for power. Kings faltered, their divine aura dimmed by hunger and defeat. Successive poor harvests, worsened by an unforgiving climate, fueled local uprisings. The delicate web of treaties that held distant territories unraveled as loyalty gave way to survival. Communication faltered, and the empire's vast machinery ground to a halt. Hattusa, the lion-guarded capital that once awed ambassadors from Babylon and Ugarit, became a battleground. Raiding parties torched its markets, and flames consumed its temples. By 1150 BCE, the city stood silent, its stone gates staring blankly at a horizon no longer theirs. The Hittite Empire, a colossus that had rivaled Egypt, crumbled into ash, its citadels reclaimed by wind and rain. What caused this downfall? Historians point to a perfect storm. Environmental collapse starved the land, while invasion shattered its defenses. The sea peoples, shadowy migrants or raiders, struck like a tide, overwhelming even fortified cities. Trade networks, the arteries of the Bronze Age, collapsed under the weight of disruption, starving empires of resources. Internally, the Hittites' own ambition may have sown their doom. Their sprawling dominion, knit by diplomacy and force, stretched too thin, its unity fragile under pressure. Powerful nobles, once loyal, turned inward, their schemes undermining the throne. The very bureaucracy that had elevated them, meticulous scribes recording every grain, could not stem the tide of chaos when morale broke. The empire's heart, Hattusa, fell not to a single blow, but to 1,000 cuts. Each rebellion and raid a wound that bled it dry. The aftermath was stark. The Hittites scattered into fragmented Neo-Hittite states in southern Anatolia and northern Syria, pale shadows of their former glory. These remnants clung to fading traditions, their writing systems and royal edicts withering under the rise of new powers like Assyria. The cohesive might that had once brokered peace with Ramses II dissolved, leaving only echoes in the dust. For centuries, their name faded from the world's memory, their story buried beneath rubble. The Hittites' fall was not just a loss of power, but a silencing of a civilization that had shaped the ancient Near East. Their archives, once vibrant with laws and treaties, lay entombed, waiting for a distant age to unearth them. In their collapse, they left a haunting lesson. No empire, however grand, is immune to the forces that turn palaces to ruins and legends to silence. In the late 19th century, a forgotten world stirred beneath the windswept hills of Anatolia. Explorers, drawn by whispers of ancient ruins, roamed the Turkish highlands, their boots crunching over stones that held secrets older than memory. At Boğazköy, they unearthed Hattusa, the lost capital of the Hittites, its crumbled walls and lion gates silent witnesses to a vanished empire. Tens of thousands of clay tablets emerged from the earth, inscribed with cuneiform and mysterious hieroglyphs, their words locked away for over 3,000 years. These were no mere relics. They were the voice of a civilization that had once rivaled Egypt and Babylon, now resurrected by the hands of scholars. The tablets spoke of treaties with distant kings, rituals to a sprawling pantheon, and a city that commanded the Bronze Age. The Hittites, long dismissed as a minor biblical footnote, revealed themselves as titans who shaped the ancient Near East with diplomacy, war, and law. The decipherment of these tablets, led by pioneers like Bedşik Hrozny, cracked open a universe. The cuneiform, startlingly Indo-European in a land of Semitic tongues, unveiled a language older than most known branches, rewriting the origins of linguistic history. References to Ramses II, Syrian tribute, and storm gods painted a vivid portrait of an empire that negotiated with pharaohs and ruled from Anatolia to Mesopotamia. The scale was staggering. Hattusa's archives revealed a bureaucracy that tracked harvests, armies, and edicts with a precision that rivaled modern states. Historians reeled, their maps of antiquity redrawn. The Hittites were no tribal shadow, but a pillar of the Bronze Age, their treaties and battles as pivotal as those of Thebes or Babylon. The rediscovery sent shockwaves through academia, exposing a gap in history's narrative that had lain hidden for millennia. Yet, the Hittites' return from oblivion was a fragile miracle. Had looters shattered those tablets, or had time eroded Hattusa's ruins, their story might have remained a void. Local tales of ancient cities, whispered by villagers, guided early explorers, but it was the clay archives, durable yet vulnerable, that preserved the Hittites' voice. Each tablet was a thread in a tapestry of lost grandeur, revealing a society that balanced might with ingenuity. Their legal codes, etched with a practicality that softened Babylonian rigidity, governed disputes from livestock to murder. Their diplomacy, crystallized in the Kadesh Treaty with Egypt, marked a milestone in human history, the earliest recorded peace accord, a testament to coexistence between rival powers. Their religious syncretism, embracing foreign gods, wove conquered lands into a cultural mosaic, a model for empires that followed. The Hittites' rediscovery is more than a scholarly triumph. It's a cautionary tale of impermanence. Their empire, once a beacon of power, vanished so completely that even its name faded. Hattusa's bustling markets, its scribes recording grain quotas, its priests honoring 1,000 gods, all silenced by the Bronze Age collapse. Political strife, environmental ruin, and invasions by the Sea Peoples shattered their world, leaving only ruins and tablets buried under centuries of dust. The Hittites' fall whispers a warning. No civilization, however mighty, is immune to oblivion. Their meticulous records, meant to defy time, could not save them from famine or rebellion. Yet those same records ensured their resurrection. Without them, we might never have known of an empire that brokered peace with Ramses II or shaped the ancient world's balance of power. Standing amid Hattusa's ruins today, the weight of lost glory is palpable. Stone foundations trace temple courtyards where thousands once worshipped a pantheon drawn from half a dozen lands. Weathered lion gates, chipped by time, guard a city that no longer breathes. Archaeologists have rebuilt fragments of its walls, but the clamor of chariots, the murmur of scribes, and the rituals of kings are gone, replaced by the silence of wind and explanatory plaques. Yet, from this quiet, a profound truth emerges. The Hittites were a vital link in the Bronze Age's chain of cultures, their collapse a fracture that reshaped the ancient Near East. Their rediscovery adds depth to history, revealing a world more interconnected than textbooks once claimed, where empires traded ideas as readily as goods. The Hittites' legacy endures in their innovations. Their Kadesh Treaty set a precedent for diplomacy. Their laws influenced later legal traditions, and their religious openness foreshadowed the multiculturalism of later empires like Persia. Their language, now studied in academic halls, has reshaped our understanding of Indo-European roots, tracing linguistic threads across millennia. Yet, their greatest gift may be their warning. They built archives on clay, believing their story eternal. Yet calamity proved otherwise. Modern societies, with digital records and towering cities, might assume permanence, but the Hittites remind us that continuity depends on preservation. If no one carries the tale forward, even the grandest civilization can dissolve into shadow. Their story, pulled from Hattusa's rubble, sparks a haunting question. How many other empires lie buried, their voices lost to time? The Hittites nearly slipped away forever, their battles, treaties, and gods erased until a tablet's whisper broke the silence. Their rediscovery urges us to keep searching, to unearth the threads of history still hidden beneath the earth. In academic circles, their name now resonates, a testament to archaeology's power to revive the past. Yet, to the wider world, they remain obscure, overshadowed by Egypt's pyramids or Greece's myths. Their tale, though, is no less vital, a saga of ambition, resilience, and fragility. The Hittites stand at history's edge, their lion gates half buried, their tablets a fragile bridge to a world that nearly vanished. They remind us that every empire treads a thin line between legacy and oblivion. Their story, a mirror for our own uncertain future.